London calling to the faraway towns. Now war is declared and battle come down. London calling to the underworld. Come out of the cupboard, you boys and girls. London calling, now don't look to us. Phony Beatlemania is splitting the dust. London calling, see we ain't got no swing except for the rain and the crunch of thing. The ice age is coming, the sun's zooming in. Meltdown expected, the wheat is good in. Engines stop running, but I have no fear, cause London is drowning. I live by the river to the imitation zone. Forget it, brother, you can go it alone. London calling to the zombies of death. Quit holding out and draw another breath. London calling, and I don't want to shout. But while we were talking, I saw you nodding out. London calling, see we ain't got no heart.
Welcome along to London Calling, brought to you in association with Equate. This evening we're going to be looking back on the 2003-04 campaign ahead of the reunion taking place next Tuesday when the R's host Bournemouth here at Loftus Road. We've got Marc, Bircham and Kevin Gallen who are joining us live in the studio, as well as Brian Melzak. We've also got details of a competition to win 2 tickets to next Tuesday's game against the Cherries, and you can get to meet Birch, Gallen and all the other returning legends from a decade ago. If we've got time, we're going to look back on the victory against Charlton as well as ahead to the game against Doncaster. That's all right here on London Calling, brought to you in association with Equate.
Equate is a natural energy drink containing only natural ingredients. Fruit juices, ginseng, guarana, green tea and just a nip of natural caffeine from the green coffee bean. And there's enough fruit juice in each can to give you one of your 5 a day. Need a natural lift? Try Equate.
I can't believe they're already questioning the quality of the audio there. I'm joined by, as I say, Marc Bircham, Kevin Gallen and Brian Melzak as well. Firstly,
on the bench I am tonight.
On the bench, on the far side. Thanks very much for joining us. Firstly, details of the all-important competition. Brian Melzak's given a well-earned rest this evening. The simple nature of the competition is you have to guess how many times Mr. Bircham and Mr. Gallen can head the ball to each other without the ball dropping, without the ball bouncing. What's your initial reaction to that, lads, and what do you reckon you're going to get?
Go below 10.
Below 10. Below 10 is Birch's view. Kev?
11.
11. Not much confidence.
10.
No.
From two legends of the game. Not
are you actually on the programme? Are you listening to your iPad?
What?
He looks like he's listening to an iPod at the moment, doesn't he? Oh, yeah,
Right, yeah.
Okay, so give us your thoughts. Use hashtag LCI. How many times can they head the ball between them before it bounces? One winner will be chosen. If 2 people guess the same or more than 2, then we'll choose one lucky winner. You'll win 2 tickets to Tuesday's game against Bournemouth and the opportunity to meet Birch, Kev and all the other returning QPR legends from the 2003-04 campaign. We've also got a question. The topic of debate is we want you to tell us who do you think was the most important player in our 03-04 promotion winning season. Kev Gallen is laughing. He believes it's himself. Birch, Kev, we'll start with you, Birch. Who do you think was the most important player?
I've got to be serious. Yeah?
Richard Langley.
No, what? That's such a bad question, really.
That's a bad question. I spent all day thinking that.
It's a bad question.
Exactly.
Good question.
There's so many.
Don't think.
There's so many.
Think you'll win.
Honestly, there's so many. Like Rowley come in, he got Player of the Year. Gaz come in after being Judas and being at Cardiff and stitching us in the playoff final. And yeah, it is a bad question. It is. But
Sabin.
I think it's a good question because you're giving different. Eric Sabin wins
Sabin.
I'll say Kev because
Eric
he's
Sabin.
next to me and he's my mate.
Kev Gallen. Kev, who would you go for? The most important player? Well, you.
No, there is no. Whoever made the most appearances that season wins it. No, everyone played. Everyone played their part. There ain't one person, and I'm not going to say like Birchie played, and Rowley and Gaz and even Clark and everyone made a contribution because You've got to win every game. It's not just you
Is
don't
that
get to
when
you
you've
don't
done
get to the end of to Sheffield Wednesday and think, oh, just that game got us
Is
promoted.
that when you was
You've got to get to
100
that.
I think you made like 150 consecutive appearances. I was devastated because I was like backup penalty taker. I wasn't injured for at least like a handful of games.
And then it all went apart. And I made 150 missing.
All right, so both of you are saying that it's difficult to choose someone. You, when Push said Kev, but you're saying it's difficult to choose someone. Is that always the case with a promotion-winning team, or was that the case with that promotion-winning team?
think
Sometimes, can you say, for instance, when we won promotion 3 years ago, people would say Adele Terrell.
Yeah. But
Is
that team,
it a case of that team? It wasn't about
with that
individuals?
team. I just think that so many played well and stepped up when we need them. There weren't I don't think there was a standout candidate to be in.
Everyone played a part. I mean, the lads that played the most obviously played a bigger part. But you know, like I said, didn't Eric Sabin score against Grimsby?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and we got 3 points, and we wouldn't have got to Sheffield Wednesday. So basically, I think Eric got us promoted.
no,
Is he coming back?
There's a core of the
You
team.
signed him?
There's a core of the team that you can pick from a core.
What's your
of the
nickname for him?
team. Eric Sabin.
No, the other one.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Okay, details of who has confirmed now. Initially, Lee Camp was confirmed, and then he actually signed on loan for Bournemouth, so he'll be there next Tuesday, but won't be able to take part in the celebration.
Well, he may be if he lets a few goals in.
Very true.
Hopefully.
Aside from Kev Gallen and Marc Bircham, Chris Day, Nick Culkin, Kevin McLeod, Gareth Ainsworth, Marcus Bean, Steve Palmer, Martin Rowlands, Paul Furlong and Tony Thorpe. How good will it be to catch up with all those guys next Tuesday?
Yeah, it'd be tremendous. Yeah.
They're really good. Really
laugh,
good catching up with them, and hopefully you can get a few drinks afterwards.
Who's missing?
Who is missing?
Arthur. Eric.
Eric Arthur. Clark, he's not on there.
Yeah.
Is Clark not coming now?
No, Clark Carlisle can't make it. Also, Ian Holloway, the hope is that he will be able to come. He expressed an interest in coming, but for the last week or so, the club have been trying to get hold of him without success. We're going to continue to try to get hold of Ian Holloway, and hopefully he'll be returning as well. You look back at that time. When was the last time all of you were together?
No, there's a group of us that meet up, don't we? Me, Kev, Gaz, like even Nick Culkin comes down now.
I haven't seen. It'd be good to see Nick because I ain't seen him the last time we played at Man United in the League Cup. I went to the game and I met up with him before the game and had a chat, and that'd be good. Thorpe I ain't seen for ages, but I rang him. He spoke to me the other day, and we're going to come down together. I ain't seen Gaz for a long time. I see Rowley, 6 months ago. It'd be good just to catch up and see what everyone's up to, and good lads and good laugh. I see Kevin McLeod actually a couple of months ago, and where's Prav? Is Prav coming?
Prav, he's too busy.
Jack Perry, where's Jack Perry?
The British Lions.
He's
not coming.
Gino's another one who was a big part of that year. I remember when he first come over, I think he was a bit shell shocked with the way the game was. And he was having a bad time, didn't we? We took him under our wings in head tennis, and he never looked back. Never looked back. At the start of his career.
We'll talk about the head tennis now. In fact, you brought it up. Tim Breaker questioning how many times you two beat him and Ollie. He suggests that they were rarely beaten.
You can ask.
That's what I'm hearing.
You can ask.
That's laughable.
You can ask any player at the club, and to be fair to him, Ollie, he showed the attitude that he had, because every day, before and after training, we used to beat Tim Breaker and Ollie every day.
And to be fair to them, they kept coming back.
That's what I mean. They kept coming back, relentless, kept coming back, wanting a game
and
after
Kenny
game.
Jackett. I mean, Kenny Jackett was there until to March, wasn't he? And then he went to Swansea.
Yeah.
He was forgotten.
And then he used to beat him.
He used to go mental.
So that used to be three of them, and then that's where the Chuckle Brothers come, because the Chuckle Brothers.
This is what happened. We hit it
to
over
me,
the net.
to you, to me.
They would like say yours, me, and then Tim and Ollie, yours, and then we just to me, to you, to me, and then they just blatantly.
The Chuckle Brothers come down, and they just bluffed it on us.
Does it feel like 10 years ago?
No, not at all.
No, it doesn't.
But I remember at that time when we was playing, I did think we'd never have times like this again. I was close to it at Millwall, where we had a fantastic team and team spirit at Millwall when we won promotion there, and I was lucky to have it there, and then but to have it at QPR, it meant more. And I remember playing and just enjoying every day, like coming into training. It was just couldn't wait to get in there.
People always go, like you mentioned it there in the team spirit of Millwall, you're mentioning, people always seem to go on about that from the 2003-04 season. Did the defeat against Cardiff in the playoff final bizarrely help to build that bond?
I think it did because I think they did say, I remember Nick Blackburn saying that after the game, if we'd have went up, then we'd have gone nearly administration again for the amount of money we owed clubs. For players, I think we owed, was it Barnsley for you, Kev? And we owed Watford for Palms and Chris Day, and we owed Birmingham for Furs, and we owed clubs loads of money. And
that was something. Is that something the players were aware of?
No, we didn't know. No, it was only afterwards, and Nick Blackburn said that. And I think if we'd have gone up that season, our squad wasn't good enough to cope with that. So a blessing in disguise. It took an extra year. We added Rowley, we added Gaz, we added a few others to strengthen us. And then the disappointing thing is when we did go up that year, we done so well in the Championship with a little bit of financial backing. We should have easily made playoffs that year.
Could have. We had a bad start, and then we had a what was it? September and October. So we had 7. Yeah, and we was in the top. I remember being in the top 2, and
it was in March.
Our bonuses.
Yeah, our bonuses. They didn't think we'd do that.
We went in and said to him, "We want this." And Marc did, "Yeah, all right then." And we went, "Oh no, we should have went higher." And then so we come back out again, and then we thought we'd never get near it. And then we was in the top 2, and our bonuses. Every time we won, we were like. Not only that, we were like second. We were like buzzing. Yes, bonus! So it was like a good laugh. But yeah, we had a really difficult. Then we went really good, and then we done all right. And then come January, if we'd have
March, I think March,
we would have had a little bit of or March.
Was it March? We were 7th or 8th.
We weren't far off. But
and literally had that many injuries. They had to call the youth players back who they released, who weren't even playing football, to come and play and be subs.
At Burnley,
and at Burnley and Wigan, and like a couple of them got on. We released them, so we didn't have enough players to fill the bench.
Yeah, so we were a little bit more investment, but we didn't have the money at the time. So, but what we had is a good team, not only a good team spirit between us from getting promoted, but even the year before the playoffs and then getting promoted, and then we was getting 17,000 in the Championship. We were doing really well. Good bond between the fans and the players. It was really good. Tremendous.
During that summer and the closed season after the failure in the final against Cardiff, were you all thinking we'll do it this year, or was there a fear of that was our opportunity?
No, I just thought we shouldn't have lost the final. We was a better team, and
Gaz there celebrating.
Look at Gaz. Look at the turncoat. Look at him.
I should have poked him straight in his beady little eyes.
Look at that. Look at him.
No, I just thought we had to start the season well. If we didn't start the season well, it would have been so hard to recover from it. And just the whole build-up, the pre-season, it was just all building to that first game, and that's why Tommy cut back Williams.
He should be getting punched. What's Clark doing? He must have been on a drink.
I think the first game of the season was so important, and we was playing one of the favourites to go up, Blackpool. Steve McMahon was Blackpool manager.
Yeah, and they were doing all right. They were a good team.
It was a roasting, probably the hottest day I've ever played in this country, and we just battered them. They couldn't live with us, and I think we took all our frustrations out on Blackpool, and we managed to build from that.
You talk about that first game of the season against Blackpool. How important was that opening day? Like you're saying, you took the frustrations out. If the result hadn't gone to plan that opening day, you wonder whether that would have brought back how close you'd gone the season before. If you'd have lost the opening day and you think, oh crikey, is it going to be a tough old season now? How crucial was it to get such a massive result?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, one thing with the manager and with Kenny and Tim and even Tony Roberts, it was good sort of steady heads, and Ollie with good enthusiasm. So we brought in a couple of players like Gareth and Rowley came in. I know Rowley was injured at the start. Then he brought in Kevin McLeod, who added to it on the left-hand side. If Rowley was playing somewhere else, Rowley played on the left. But he made some good signings, but most importantly, good characters.
Yeah.
And it was a case of, come on, let's go again. I do believe that if we hadn't beaten Sheffield Wednesday, that we would have might have been really hard to pick ourselves up.
I don't think we'd have gone up.
It would have been, because I remember like the week before when we had beat Bristol City at home. Is that right?
No, Swindon.
Swindon at home, yeah, Swindon, and Bristol City were playing the next day, and I remember just looking at the sky, thinking, come on, because it was like, and then they won again, and then we were like, oh, got to go one more, and then if we hadn't have won, and then we had to go through that process again, it'd have been tough.
But honestly, I never ever thought we wouldn't win at Sheffield Wednesday. I felt more anxious with Swindon at home.
We'll talk about that later on in the show. Obviously, Gareth Ainsworth is one of the players that got brought in, and we've just seen him celebrating there after the playoff final victory against Cardiff. What did you think when Gareth Ainsworth got signed?
I mean, you don't think me personally, I don't think, he was part of that squad. No, came in, he was a great bloke and great enthusiasm, great personality, good bloke. Delighted to have him.
I'll tell you who was devastated, Gino, the left back, was devastated because he would get beat up every day in training by Gaz.
Yeah.
And if he'd have known that, and we played Cardiff before the playoff final when Gaz was suspended. We played Cardiff
the whole game, wasn't
and Gaz was just like jumping into him and Gaz made more. It was like Gino was the winger and Gaz was the fullback. Gaz was tackling him more.
I've never seen a winger win more headers and win more tackles than Gareth.
To be fair, we used to play on it. Sometimes we do pattern of play, attack v defence. And Gaz would be on the right and Gino would be left back, and every time I'd just get out of my feet and dink one over the top of him, and you could see him giving it, oh no, Gaz would just go and smash him.
I think we're now joined by our first caller of the evening, Steve from Greenford. Good evening, Steve.
Good evening, how's it going?
Yeah, very good. What's your point?
My point is Bircham and Gallen, I think, overrating themselves. I think there was a lot more important players in that year, like Rowlands and Jack Perry and...
That's Gareth Ainsworth, isn't it? Is it Gaz on the phone all day long?
To be fair, Jack Perry was a hell of a signing. What he done for morale, you can't beat that. You can't beat that, Gareth. I thought, who's this northerner?
Gareth Ainsworth, good evening.
How's the KFC man? How's the Colonel?
How you doing, guys? You alright?
Gaz, how much are you looking forward to the reunion next week?
You got a really bad line. What did you say? Sorry, mate.
How much are you looking forward to the reunion next week?
Yeah, mate, it's going to be awesome, isn't it? Obviously, I was over QPR not long ago with the Wickham side and so Birch. Obviously, we had a good chat about it, and you know, it's going to be a good event, mate. And I'm just worried that putting all those guys back in the same room again is going to cause something to happen that bringing back those memories. And we're all about 10 years older as well, so it's a dangerous time, believe me.
Kev, does it this will bring back memories of when you were all together? There did seem to be not a clique, if you like, but real closeness, particularly between 5 or 6 of you, the pair of you, Gaz on the phone, and a couple of others.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we used to do some Gaz. We used to have some great laughs, didn't we? Remember the old phone? Remember that one? Remember that one, Gaz? And you get a text every morning. I'm not going to say what, but that was blinding.
I got a selective memory of that time. Just reminded next week. But like the guys have said, you know, it was awesome. You know, the time together and that. It was a real special time, and I still hold it as one of the best in my career. You know, and that day at Hillsbury, and Jesus, there's not many better days that you could ask for than that away at Hillsbury to have to go out and win and get promoted and do it with a team of guys who, you know, we weren't the richest squad in the league, but we came together well, and you know, it's a great day. So yeah, really looking forward to next week.
And Gaz, just before we let you go, how much are you looking forward to going on the pitch, a lap of honour, seeing the QPR fans once again, and doing it with the team that you were so close to?
Yeah, I mean, when I left, you know, to go to Wickham, I had that little moment at half time, and honestly, it choked me up. It really did, you know, going over to the Hard Rock and that, and I know exactly what I mean, because both of them have ended up moving on from QPR, and you don't forget times like that in a club like that. So to be able to do it again with, like you said, with the boys who we really made our name that year, and you know, we had some brilliant years after that. You know, there's all sorts of trips and nights out that I'm sure we'll be reminiscing about. But the football as well was just so special. We played hard and we worked hard, and I really enjoyed it. So looking forward to it next week, and obviously look forward to seeing the guys again.
Great stuff. Gaz, listen, thanks ever so much for joining us, and we'll see you on next Tuesday.
Cheers.
See you later, Gaz.
Cheers.
Gareth Ainsworth there joining us. And he started his career well, didn't he, with QPR? Obviously 2 on his debut, and then he scored those 2 that we've just seen now against Rushden and Diamonds. He made an immediate impact.
And they're 2 great goals that you see, Rushden and Diamonds, the volley. I just remember, I think
I was like,
I remember
hold it,
I was
hold
looking
it,
at it, I've
Gaz.
run forward there. I remember turning around thinking, no, Gaz, no,
Don't do
no,
it.
love it, Gaz.
Quality.
It was a great volley, and that's what Gaz does. You forget his hard work and he's industrious, and he runs up and down, he heads and he tackles, but
was a
he
great
could,
shot on
he could
him.
still produce a shot or a cross. A great technique on him.
Yeah, he did very good, very good.
Not so much on controlling and passing, but if he could belt a ball, though, Gaz.
Yeah,
Well, as you can see, yeah, bloody hell.
Kev,
Oh,
you were
God.
talking about not only players with ability but the right characters. You often hear the term due diligence brought up in the modern day, but it seems that Ian Holloway did that 10 years ago. How did he go about doing that? I remember you said, Birch, about he would ask you about what Martin Rowlands was like. Was it a case of just getting into people who knew them, and he obviously knew what they were like on the pitch?
I think they still do that.
They still
Managers do that now. I'm sure the manager, the gaffer here, will ring up someone, and if you don't know, and what you can tell, a lot of his signings are ex-players of his, so he knows what these players are about. But yeah, Ian would sort of know the character, and you can see sometimes you can just see the character on the pitch.
Yeah, I think
If you look at
it
the
was
ca-
important.
you
It
see
was
it on the
important. We had such a good team spirit and a good work ethic that it was always. I spoke to Ollie before. It was always in Ollie's mind is that he has to fit into our group. He couldn't get a player, and if he was going to get a player and he wouldn't fit into our group, it wouldn't really work because we've done so well.
We see what he just said when he left Crystal Palace. The players that he brought in didn't fit the group, and he was big on that. And
it sort of happened that our second year in the Championship, players were brought in that didn't have the same work ethic as us there, and it didn't really gel.
No, it didn't, because he had a set way of doing things, and we sort of know what training was going to be. We'd do this, and I'm going to do that on a Tuesday, Wednesday off. We'd do this Thursday and
Even
Friday.
if we didn't agree with it, we would do it.
We'd do it because we were getting results. But when the new people came in, they didn't really understand. We would do a certain pattern of play on a Thursday, and he'd work with a back four, and he'd work with and we'd do that. And Kenny used to do that, and we were well drilled at doing it. When the new people came in, they didn't know what he was sort of doing. It took too long.
That must be tough. That must immediately cause fractions within the squad, because if you lot are all up for it and doing it and understand the benefits of it, and you're seeing people come in and not buying into it, it must immediately create a little bit of a divide within the squad.
Yeah, it was, but I suppose that happens to a lot of teams. You can't always keep the same team together, but I think if you get a core, if you speak to any manager, all the good teams, they sort of police themselves. They didn't have to discipline them, they didn't have to lay down too many rules, because in the group we would create our own police.
Well, that's the thing when he brought in Gareth and Rowley, they bought into it straight away. They bought into what the lads like, when me, Birch and the other players, and like, you know, this is what we do, we're successful at doing this, let's do this. Kevin McLeod did it for a bit, then he sort of stopped. And
Thorpe did, even though it's
did.
against Thorpe. Thorpe's a moaner, he loves to moan.
But he didn't. But he
bought into it.
He bought into it, and then it's difficult. But we'd sort of done it all the time, and you know, I mean, they were two. I mean, Rowley was a great signing for us, really. You know, if we would have signed him before the playoffs, before he got injured, we probably would have won that game. I wouldn't be surprised, because you know, Richard Langley got sent off. I had to play right in the field.
Yeah, exactly.
It killed us a bit.
We were talking about, aside from obviously from the game against Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough, games that you two identify as being the key game, the second most key game of the season. You both picked different games. Firstly, Kev, with yours, you picked the home game against Plymouth. Let's firstly remind ourselves what happened in that match.
So with the win against Brentford secured, a win over league leaders Plymouth would see us leapfrog to the top of the table. Rangers were further boosted by the news that long-term absentee Dan Shittu was on the bench.
Carlisle in there, Bircham taking a deep position. It's low, it's in! It's 1-0 to Rangers! It's Kevin Gallen! The free kick went straight in! Plymouth couldn't defend it, and Rangers have taken the lead. The Summit clash, QPR versus Plymouth, and it's first blood to Queen's Park Rangers. Fantastic for QPR. Ian Holloway will be happy with that. Judah launches it long into the area. It's too long. It's a poor clearance. Thorpe shoots! Scores! Rangers are 2-0 up, and Tony Thorpe has grabbed the goal that could take Rangers to the top of the table. Delicate enough to keep the ball in Blue and white possession. Gallen. This is good football though from Rangers here. Sweeping move to Earl Forbes, now at full-back, right-hand side. Inside to Gallen. Gallen with a chance to shoot. Gallen shoots and scores! It's 3-0! And that surely is...
Kev, as Birch just said, he's only picked this game because you scored twice. Why was that such an important game?
Correct. It wasn't. I scored. I just wanted to see them. No, because they were our main rivals, and I think we were second at first, and they were first, or whatever, something along them lines, and we beat them 3-0 quite comfortably, and we were much better. And I think once you go top and you beat your main rivals, gives you a little bit more belief. And I scored two. So.
and Birch, you played but shouldn't have been out there.
I should never have played. I remember going out on the Friday and we was just doing a bit of pack to play, and I siphoned the ball, and I thought my hip went, and honestly it'd gone, and then it sort of gone round to my groin, and went to see the physio, and Prav went, like, you've pulled your groin. I was going, shut up, I'll be alright. No, you pulled your groin. I said, I'll be alright, give me a fitness test tomorrow in the morning. And he said, you pulled your groin, and he wouldn't give me a fitness test. I got Ollie in, I said, look Ollie, I'm alright, give us a fitness test. And it's because on the Tuesday, Canada were playing Ireland in Dublin, and I'd paid for my old man and my brother to go, and I think Kev was going out there with Steve.
Yeah.
And I paid for it all. I thought I've got to complete the game to get out there as well, and it's an important game, of course. And I remember waking up in the morning and I'm thinking, I'm never going to be fit. Saying to my old man on the way down, I had to be here early for a fitness test. I'm never going to be fit. I got out to the fitness test. I've managed to get through the fitness test. I was in pain, and I'm thinking, I'm never going to complete the game. And then I had some painkillers. And then
did you lie to the physio? Say yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, of course. And I said it's hurting a little bit. And I went, and I said to the physio, Brad, is there anything else I could take? And he went, I could give you, you could have a suppository. And I went, what? He goes, yeah, I can give you a painkiller, but suppository gets in there quicker. I went, I'll go on then. So I was struggling for that for about half an hour to do it myself.
Did he put it in?
Yeah? He wanted to put it in. But I put it in, got through the game, and I can't believe I got through the game, and then managed to then go out of Ireland, and I think I played 70 minutes in that game, and then when I come back, I pulled out the first game. I think we had Swindon away, and I only played about half an hour to come off. Ollie was defo.
That's outrageous.
Okay, Mark Bircham chose a different game. He chose Swindon at home. Let's remind ourselves what happened.
And the ball's gone out. Gallen under a bit of pressure, turns inside. Can he get a cross in? He can get a cross in. Furlong with a header. It's forward to Rollins. Real chance. 1-0 Rangers. 1 minute on the clock, and Rangers take the lead. What a start for QPR. Could Martin Rollins have sealed Super Hoop destiny for 2004?
After the grandstand opening, Rangers continued to press. First Gallen, and then Rowlands going close. And with it being the last game of the season, the players did their traditional lap of honour.
It's been a great season. It will get better at Sheffield Wednesday, but for now, I want to say thank you to you for your support. Will you please welcome Queens Rangers!
What sort of memories does that bring back?
Really good memories. I actually remember the game really well. We did play really well. We only won 1-0. And like I said before, when we won that, I knew we'd go up. That's why I think it was so important. We could have Bristol City played the next day. I think it was Barnsley. And I think if they didn't win, then we was going up. But I wanted them to win. I didn't want to go up that way. I wanted the day at Sheffield Wednesday when we had like 8,000 QPR fans going there. The beanbacker was at Loftus Road, so it could sort of like substitute the playoff final loss. I didn't really want it to fizzle out that way and get.
You wanted to do it on the pitch.
Yeah.
And Kev, you're saying you've not watched any of this for 10 years?
No, I don't. I never used to watch matches when I played. I'd like to watch them now.
Yeah.
But I never used to, because you sort of that's finished, on to the next game. Let's get on with it. But Ollie, you always used to watch bits and pieces of the game and stuff.
When we lost.
Yeah, when we lost, it was like, that was one of the reasons why it was like, let's win, because I can't handle an hour meeting after I want to go home.
And that's before DVDs. We had the video, we was rewind, play.
Yeah, it was it was. Remember, some of it was hilarious, but I won't go into that. Remember April Fool's Day? Oh my God.
What about April Fool's Day?
Oh my God. You'll never get another job again.
There's a clip there of him just before kick-off, most unusual. He took to the microphone to urge the fans to get behind him. Is that just to show how different he was?
Well, Ollie, he's
I think Ollie was quite nervous.
He was very nervous, but he was an excellent talker, communicator. I mean, you can't keep him quiet. And even the week after, he done a speech at the hotel, and there was fans watching. There was just, I think Ken Bates was over on the far side listening. It's unbelievable. It was like tremendous. He was a great talker, and he could talk for ages. A great motivator. But I'm not one bit surprised with that. I mean, I didn't even know that.
No, I didn't know.
I didn't know that. So obviously we were in the change room.
So
we didn't know that. But he was a great motivator and great talker, and he'd talk to you, and he was great. If anyone had a problem, he would try his best to help you.
And he was a fundamental part of creating that team spirit people keep going on about.
Definitely. With Ollie, as players, you would die for him, and it weren't just the 6, 7, 8 players that he would pick most weeks. It was the squad. He would look after the squad, the players that weren't playing, and he was he was an honest, genuine manager that wanted to do well for everyone, and I think that showed, and especially the season afterwards when there was rumours he was going to get sacked, and then literally we was all injured and we come back to fitness and we won 7-8 on the trot, and I think that showed how much we did care about him.
And that perfectly set up, obviously, the game against Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough. What are your memories of the week? Because I'd imagine Ian Holloway and the backroom staff have spent the week trying to keep the pressure off you, but I can't see how it managed.
I think we went and played. Remember, we used to start playing tennis on a Tuesday. Remember, we used to go down to
yeah.
And we used to, because this time at the end of the season, try to keep us fresh and whatever. And we used to go and play tennis, and who was it? Me and you versus Rowley and Gaz. Always.
battered.
But it was But no, it was the usual bit of training. But I think Monday come in and do what you got to do, and then Tuesday. I think we had tennis, and then Thursday a bit of pattern play, and then you go and look at what they got to do. You do set pieces, what they're about, and at the end of the day, you got to go to Sheffield Wednesday and whatever. Sheffield Wednesday, a big club, and their supporters expect to win at home. It's not like you're turning up at some, a small team like Brentford or something like that, Moz. Do you know what I mean? This is Sheffield Wednesday.
Exactly. Do you know what? My memory about football and games, as you know, is really good. I can't remember anything about the build-up to the game.
Do you remember, as two QPR fans from two big QPR families, tickets?
Yeah. Buying coaches.
Yeah,
my wife's birthday.
It used to annoy me. Yeah. Kev, you get me tickets. I just want to try and get some. I've only got this amount. And then people ring up, and it used to annoy me last minute, like maybe on a Saturday morning. You got 2 tickets? I went, no. I'm like, no.
On the day of the game?
So people would ring, have you got 2 tickets? No, I haven't.
And
stop ringing me.
There was a man.
I've got a game to play.
I can say it now. There was a man rang me down the game, and it was Neil Warnock, because he kept trying to sign me. And he said, this is how much I want to sign you. In Sheffield United manager, I'm coming to Sheffield Wednesday to watch you play. Because at the time, and I remember, I forgot to say at the Swindon game, it was a couple of days before the Swindon game, and the chairman at the time just said to me, look, if we don't go up, we can't afford to keep you. So that's how important that game in Sheffield Wednesday was, and somehow he knew that. And then so he was ringing me before that, but he rang me on the day of the game saying, look, come to Sheffield Wednesday to watch it. and you're not going up. Is that what he actually said?
Yeah, but I don't remember any.
I remember the in the hotel.
Yeah, I remember that.
The night before, the day of the game, I remember the game completely. And I remember afterwards because, as I said, it was my wife's birthday, and I had something hired. So I thought, I hope it goes well. It's going to be the worst birthday ever for her. And then we got the team bus pulled up outside, and then we was drunk for about a week after that.
Yeah. Well, let's remind ourselves what happened at Hillsborough on that final day of the season. Well, this is just talk us through it. This is obviously we're just seeing the huddle beforehand, and do you remember that? Watching it back now?
Yeah, I don't know. I do. I remember it, but I just remember coming. Let's get this over with so I can get out there. It is the goal.
And this was obviously after 35 minutes. At which point, I think you knew what was going on with Bristol City. Didn't you?
That's what that wound us up because I think it was Danny Wilson.
It was out of order.
Sheffield Wednesday, and they kept.
When does that ever happen at a football match?
Well, it's got nothing to do with them. And they kept flashing up the score, and Bristol City winning. We know, but I remember Clark. It was about 5 minutes into the game. He come and get an header, and he just kneed me straight in the leg. I had the worst dead leg ever for the whole game.
But that second goal just after half time must have really helped settle it.
Yeah, that settled it down. But then they equalised, and then we had a bit of pressure. And
yeah, they pulled one back, didn't they? And then
they put the brown trousers on.
Was it a case of playing with fear once they pulled that goal back?
Well, you were just like, I
didn't. I just knew we'd win. And then this lad who scored no goal, he
was on trial with us, and he was absolutely thought he was different class. He come on trial for a week. He thought he was the best centre half ever, wasn't he? Giving it the massive, and then he scored.
Chris Crisper, was it Chris Crisper?
No, I don't know what his name is, but he came on trial. Thought he was top draw.
Chris Carr,
yeah. And then he scores that, and when that goal went in, I was just like,
done. That must have helped you. Were you able to enjoy the last 15-20 minutes then?
Yeah.
When was that? I don't even know.
It was on 69 minutes. So for the last 20 minutes, does that mean you were able to look around and take it in? The 8,000 fans, look up at them.
Because at that stage they were having a little mini. The crowd got behind them. We went tuning up the crowd, and once they get a goal back, the crowd went back and had a few near misses, and they were buzzing. And then that went in, they just went dead again. And you just got to see this game out, which we did, and then we was just great crack. It was great laugh.
And what are your memories here at the final whistle out, celebrating with them? I mean, it's great that it was at such a stadium that was able to have 8,000 fans there.
Yeah, I mean it's
enjoyment, relief as well. Relief.
Look at that. I mean, it's a massive stadium, a big club, and you got to go to there and win. No pressure on them, whatever. So it was a good achievement to go away from home and pretty much in the end win convincingly.
If you couldn't win it at Loftus Road, that would probably be the next stadium
in that league.
You'd want to win it.
Yeah.
So it ended up, really good. And then I just remember the journey home and going in the bar after.
We cleaned out their bar, didn't we?
We went to Scott's pub.
They were buzzing.
And then we went to Scott's pub the day after.
Full Power 62 was there with you, celebrating on Scott's pub at the end.
Yes, and then that was good. And then I remember we were meant to do the what we were doing on the bus, and then we said we can't go.
No, we booked up Ireland.
We're going to Ireland.
Yeah.
Ollie
it was my birthday.
Remember Ollie went mental.
What was the date of that? Because my birthday May the 11th as well, so I think it went promotion, Scott's pub, my birthday, Ireland for a week. And
we went to Ireland on the Thursday, and we came in on the Tuesday, and Ollie said, right, they want to do an open top bus. It's going to do this on the Saturday. Someone said, oh, hold on, I think Prav's booked Ireland for all the lads.
Yeah.
And so he said, right, you're going to go over there and get drunk and do this. Okay, when you get back, when day you back on the money? Right, on a Tuesday you're doing fitness testing. And Tony Ford went, Gaffer, sorry. The way it's going around at the moment, it feels like we've just been relegated. He went like that. 5 minutes later, he went, right, lads, have a chat. Do you know what? Forget the fitness testing.
Gareth Ainsworth, didn't he wear his kit for the night after the... Was it Gaz?
He came to your that dude.
Yeah, no, we all... I had my shot.
And he jumped and headed the chandelier.
I had to pay for that. No, yeah, but he had his kit on. I think I had my shirt on. There's a few of us, He
headbutted the chandelier. Thought it was a header. Thought he was going for an header.
And you look back at individuals within that team. I know you're saying it's a collective effort. Paul Furlong, firstly, you called him the other day the smiling assassin.
Yeah, because he'd elbow people with his massively sharp elbows and have a little smile up, and sometimes get away with it.
Yeah.
I think that's the only time I've seen him go mad at Kev, when he didn't leave his foot on the keeper once.
Yeah,
and
he went mental at me. Yeah. Why didn't you kick him in the head? That's not what I do. That's not my style. Why don't you slide tackle him in the head? I don't really want to do that first.
But you look at some of the goals he scored as well. Goal. Cracking goal there, and he turned the QPR fans around, didn't he?
Massively, because there was one, I think it was the Cardiff game, and he wasn't having the best of times, but he was. And he was ex Chelsea, and it sort of built up. And to be fair, he turned it around. And then the second half of the season, he was different gear. He was different class. And like that goal at Luton was an important goal. I remember that. That was when Thorpe went back. It was going absolutely. It was going mental. They were going mental at him.
I remember at that game, someone was spitting at me. That Luton.
They were just,
don't start. I mean, Thorpe's over there. Yeah, they started running abuse him about.
Another one, of course, Martin Rowlands, who came in obviously at the start of that season, injured to begin with, but he had a massive impact over the course of the season, didn't he?
He came in and he was versatile. He could play right back, centre mid, right mid, left mid. So if Gareth was injured or Gareth was out of a little bit of form, he'd play right mid, and then if Kevin McLeod was struggling a bit, he'd go and play left mid, and he'd play equally as good. He's a very, very good player. And I thought he was better playing on the left, because what he was good at, he's used to come in on his right foot and hit shots, and he was excellent at doing that.
And what was buzzing with
great worker.
We was buzzing with Gaz and Rowley coming in, because you know what I mean, we ain't got button noses, but they come in, two of the biggest noses that you had, and it took the pressure right off.
We used to have like nose off.
And
with Wayne, remember the Wayne?
Wayne was involved. And we had it on the coach, and we measured it, and the length and the width, and then
I think Rowley
won by easy. It wasn't even a contest. Because you got to remember the size of him as well, because he ain't the biggest, so the beak looks even bigger.
They just had a big bump.
That's the only time I've seen Gaz losing from wind-ups. Remember there was one game, Gaz...
No, you went and put the poster up.
Yeah, but Gaz played, and he broke his nose.
Oh, yeah.
He broke his nose, and he was devastated. And then I went out
on the Monday
and photocopied like 20 pictures of like the Wicked Witch in Wizard of Oz, or the Wicked Witch in the West with the bumpy nose, and put it in on the locker.
You went upstairs You went upstairs for breakfast, and I'm in the change room. Gaz comes in and give it. You're out of order, Kev. I'm like, what are you talking about? Out of order. That's poor from you. I'm like, Gaz, I don't even know them pictures. You're out of order. I just went. All I'm saying, it wasn't me. Just put it straight on you.
And he comes and see me. He went, I broke my nose. That's the last thing I want.
That is the first time we didn't take a joke.
How long did it take him to get over that? Because he often says that the pair of you were heavily responsible for banter. He says Marc Bircham sometimes will go a little bit too far.
Yeah, I think I would.
I think that was it.
No,
but his nose, but his look.
No, but he knew if he showed any more emotion, that I'd carry on with it and carry on. So he just laughed it off
and moved on.
Yeah.
Kev, obviously that season you scored 17 goals yourself. Looking back as a QPR fan, as much as anything else, it must mean so much to you to have played such a pivotal role in that successful season.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I scored. I haven't seen that for years, so it's old. I mean, scoring goals and getting promoted. I mean, top scorer was great, and obviously Terrell. I think that's the best pass I've ever seen. It's unbelievable. That can't be Terrell. He can't. Like Terrell was great defender going forward. He went great. I mean, we had, I think our strengths were really get the ball forward as early as possible, wasn't it, and play from there.
We'll get into their half.
And then get in their half, and then we had some good strikers and we had good wingers to create.
We're not mentioning Clark Carlisle and shit. They'd done a good job. Shit was excellent. And then
he got injured,
done his crew shit, and I spoke.
Even Arthur came in and done well.
Yeah.
Just he wouldn't pay any bills. That was the only problem.
With Dan Shitter, he obviously picked up an injury against Bournemouth in the January. Turned out to be his ACL, and I think. But you helped nurse him through the 90 minutes while playing with what turned out to be an ACL.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I used to give Dan a bit of stick because he was so big and powerful, and sometimes he'd be moaning too much or struggling, rubbing something, and you don't want that. You don't want him rubbing parts of his body like moaning, because it shows a bit of weakness. I remember it was about the first 10 minutes against Bournemouth. And I think he actually got done for the goal, and then he was rubbing his knee. And he was winding me up, he kept rubbing his knee.
He had the cruciate.
Yeah, no, he kept rubbing his knee. And I said in as many terms, Dan, stop embarrassing us, get on with it. Stop rubbing your knee. You're showing us up, get on with it. Look at the size of you. And he went on and coming half time, and I literally said, Dan, stop messing about, step up, be a man, come on, the big centre half. And then he finished the game, to be fair to him, and he come in Monday and he'd done his cruciate. So I did feel a little bit guilty.
Well, the thing with Danny, he had such big muscles that he could half protect us. Do you know what I mean?
He said he could carry on. He thought he could carry on.
He probably could.
And then they said,
but he done excellent. Him and Clark were like
Rosie
too
as
big.
well.
You know, Rosie was could come in and play centre mid, right back, left. Do you know what I mean? At the last game at Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, he made a couple of blocks right at the when it went 2-1, he was.
He's the only player I know broke his foot getting out of the car. He was that. No, he was. He had nothing.
He was. I mean, Rosie was like. Ollie loved Rosie because he was a natural defender. He could he's closing down and he could jump and he could read it. But he just, unfortunately, he used to get injured quite a lot.
And Kev got 17 goals. You got into double figures with 11 yellow cards. Two goals, Birch. One of them quite a memorable strike.
Oh, Grimsby was it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is when I was playing left wing. I think I was playing left wing that day.
Yeah, we won that. I think that was
3-0.
It was 0-0 at the time. It was getting late on, and I scored that. Yeah, no,
that's the last minute winner.
That was the second goal, and so that wrapped that game up really. And I think first scored near the end.
Okay, and now we're going to have another angle.
Look at Arthur's laser.
Arthur. Cheers.
Yeah, I didn't really score many in the box. I think the other goal was
absolute
scrap.
We've got a couple of, just a few little bits and points. You know, Ryan Forrester enjoying the show tonight. He said great season 03-04 was. Sheffield Wednesday away was still his favourite moment supporting QPR. And just Michael QPR Almeida, just his out in Gibraltar, just saying he was just making a point that he was at Loftus Road when we beat Plymouth and Swindon.
Okay.
Get some more tweets coming in as well. Got quite a few people taking a guess on how many headers the Chuck and Buns will do.
What are they going for?
Well, a couple have said 20. One said 24, 14, 9, 7, another 14. So
quite varied. They
obviously haven't seen these guys play for a little while.
Ranging from 7 up to mid-20s. Well, we're going to get that underway very shortly. Tim Breaker, I mentioned earlier, we caught up with him recently to look back on the 2003-04 season. Let's hear what Mr. Breaker had to say about you two. Marc, Bircham and Kevin Gallen obviously played a crucial role as well. QPR fans as well. Did that help?
Yeah, it did in a lot of ways. You know, they knew the club very well, as you know, and they made sure anyone who came in was aware of the responsibilities that we had, and to be fair, in the division, the expectation was quite high. Obviously, we'd had administration before, but everybody wanted the club to be back, as high up as possible, and the next rung up definitely was important. So they were good. Obviously, more frustration at being QPR supporters if we lost, so me and Ollie used to take them out and play tennis against them, generally beat them all the time, which Birch will not believe, or he'll tell it as a different way. But yeah, they're good characters, and good times, really good times.
Pass that hand that one. Well, okay, right. Firstly, what are your thoughts on what Mr. Breaker had to say there? He said that Ian Holloway and himself used to beat you quite regularly.
Well, I'm surprised. He's just got a bit of a compulsive liar there. I'd like
just blatant lies.
Oh yeah, I'd like to get Jeremy Carlin, get him on the lie detector, and see what happens.
Okay, right. Now that's a little bit softer, so in theory it should make it slightly easier, no? Okay, so you've got to bear in mind the height of the ceiling. The ball can't touch the floor.
Can we have a warm up?
Yeah, have a warm up. Have a little warm up.
That's a bad throw.
God, it's nearly at the ceiling.
Yes!
Right, okay, that's your warm up. That's your warm up. I think that was around a 9-10 mark. Right, that's your warm up out of the way. Range from 7 up to the mid-20s. Height is the key. You can keep going. You can throw your leg in if it hits the ceiling, only for the next one straight after the ceiling hit. Okay,
done this
away you
before.
go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3. 23! Marc Bircham and Kevin Gallen, excellent effort. Take a seat there. 23, that's not too bad. That's a new record. We'll go with that.
We're the only ones that done it.
Impressive effort. So,
We're either top or we're bottom.
What we'll have to do is look through now, see who've got 23. To be fair, I think the highest, what you were saying, Brian, was about 20, this 26 mark. Another person we caught up with recently to get his thoughts on the pair of you was Dan Shitu. Here's what Dan had to say.
The funniest player from the 2003-2004 season. It was a bit of a hard one because we had a lot of funny players, but I think that the winners, there's more than one, there's two of them. We call them the Chuckle Brothers, Kevin Gallen and Marc Bircham. Those two were always up to something, and they were the two to be in head tennis because they thought they were the best. And definitely the Chuckle Brothers, they're the two that I believe they were the funniest from that season. They still think they're funny now, but they're not.
Dan Shitu there, we were speaking about him earlier. He obviously played an important part, albeit obviously injured for the second half of that season.
Yeah, he's a man mountain of a man, and just his presence. And yeah, I think with that team, I think in any other QPR team, there'd have been standout characters, but because we had so many characters in the team, it just blended in together. And I think that's the same with Dan, like with Clark, and as you said, Gaz Rowley, me, Kevin McLeod,
Richard Hedgill
again. He was in there.
Gino, Jesus.
Yeah, we not mentioned Richard John O coming.
Richard Johnson's a good character. Like good lads, all good lads.
So all characters. So like not.
Like, was hilarious.
You see some players that have been, or some squads that QPR recently, where players would just blend in and mould. There weren't. Everyone
Curo coming, he was good lad.
Thorpe a character, Nick Holkin character, Chris Day a character. Just everyone had a characteristic and a character to bring to the group to make it better.
And I'd imagine, being the player that you were, Birch, if you upset an opposing player on the pitch, down the tunnel at half-time or full-time, it was quite handy to have Danny Shitu by you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was alright.
I'm not leading you anywhere with that.
I'm looking for a video here.
No,
you were looking at the TV.
I think that's
I thought that's Stoke.
I think that's the year after.
That's the year after.
I didn't really look for Dan now. I just went in for myself. I knew I could hear him behind me. I could hear his footsteps. It was like Jurassic Park.
We were too busy watching Rosie get gripped up by about 8 footers. It weren't me, it was him.
That obviously was a different season, but yeah, I think did Matt Rose end up in the wrong dressing room?
He got
dragged in, got a lever in, and they got sent back out.
Fair,
that was.
You should ask Cole Henry about it because he was there.
Oh, of course,
he mentioned it the other day to me. There was a player that mentioned a player got hit and they didn't know who hit him, and then I think it come to light the other day. So.
It was. I mean, we had some big lads, but they were massive.
And then
I was like watching the cameras. There was like, oh, he was.
Do you remember? The cameraman got knocked out. And to be fair, Ollie come in the dressing room afterwards at half time and went mental, giving it down. They're bullies. I told you, don't fight bullies. We'd be clever and play around. Don't fight. And we literally, well, we're looking after ourselves. That's right. We'll look after ourselves. He went in there on his own, like kicked the door open. Come on, you want it? Do it.
Okay, we must also make reference to the current situation with QPR at the moment. Firstly, it must have been difficult for both of you, obviously as QPR fans, last season to see the club relegated. Marc, you were obviously in and around the training ground. You must have found that very hard as well.
Yeah, doubly hard. To see players who were at the club and not caring about it was hard. And I think I say to the end before, I told a couple of players what I thought. It's hard. You have to bite your lip all the time when you're seeing them every day and you're seeing them not bothering and not caring. And I've got to say, I'm not saying it because the gaffer's at the club now and how he's turned it round and with the help of the owners to turn it round. I didn't think it was possible to turn it round as quickly as they did. To get so many players out that needed to get out and get players in and get us in the situation that we are now. If you'd have asked me in the season, I didn't think it was possible, but they've done it, and the gaffers gave us a great chance to maybe bounce back into the Premier League, where we did, as a club, we deserve to be in with the back and the players that we got and the coaching staff that we got. We deserve to be in the Premier League, and they've actually put in our hands really now to get back in there. And as I said before, I didn't think it was possible.
And Harry, similarities between Harry and Ian Holloway in the way you always talk about Ollie looking for characters. Harry seems to have gone down that same road, bringing in players he knows.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like an obvious, but it's a smart move. I mean, we look back now, it's an obvious move, but no one thought he was going to do it. But as Marc just said, you know, he's got the sort of the bad characters out, and whatever it might be, still even costing the club money to get them out. He's got them out. He's got good lads in. I think we're looking really strong. We're looking comfortable. Might have to add another couple of players, maybe a striker, and to take the workload off Charlie Austin. But he's obviously scored a great goal. But you know, he's up front on his own, and Andy Johnson's great. He's coming back fit. But you know, I think it's looking good. I think you can tell, you know, on the pitch that the characters are good. Yeah. And there's some good team spirit, because any team that gets promoted, to get promoted, you have to be together. You have to have good team spirit. It's not, you know. Everyone, you know, if you look at any team that gets promoted,
can you read a team spirit into a celebration?
Oh yeah, you can. I mean, I think one of the main things, you know, I think Alex Ferguson sort of said at Man United, when someone scores, everyone has to go and celebrate, and I think that's a very good thing. You'll see everyone going up and celebrating. So, you know, you see that when everyone's jumping on Charlie's back there. That's a good thing. Yeah. I think that's a very good thing. So, you know, we've got some tough games, obviously, in this division, some good teams, but it's a grind with the Saturday, Tuesday, and whatever. Teams are coming to Loftus Road, they're playing, you know, very defensive. You've got to break it down. I can understand on Saturday, Charlton they only came at best to get a point. Crowd gets a bit frustrated, a little bit quiet. Do the team have to get the crowd going, or does the crowd get the team going? There's a little bit of you know, which way should it go? Yeah. So do the crowd want to see a shot and a tackle, and then they get going, or do the players want come on the crowd, get behind us from the off? So it's a little bit of both.
I think the crowd has to get it going when they know it's not going to be a big game, a bit like Charlton, a bit like Bournemouth. And I can say I was disappointed with the crowd that day. I thought it was the worst.
I agree, actually, it was one of our quietest crowds.
I thought it was the worst the crowd's been. Not booing, but the worst the crowd's been.
They weren't there. They weren't in the game. They weren't with the game.
They were waiting for something to happen instead of making it happen themselves or getting chance.
A manager used to say to us, you know, crowd, you've got to get the crowd going, either with a tackle or a shot on goal early, or, you know, someone just rev the crowd up. But because we had the ball the majority of the first 10 minutes, and we're passing it about, trying to break them down, and we didn't get any shots in. The crowd a bit subdued, so it's a bit of both. You know, you say the crowd, but I think it's a bit of both. You have to get them going, and they've got to come with you, and vice versa.
But I said the feeling from the warm up, from the start of the game, it wasn't a bubbly atmosphere.
No, it wasn't. I was surprised. It was a London derby, but I thought.
Well, let's just hope. Tuesday night's game will be bubbly with you guys here in the reunion as well. We got the competition winner. How many headers was it you think you did again?
23.
You did 23, okay. Colin Chapman was the nearest one. He went for 24. So
Colin Chapman, congratulations, Colin. If you get in touch with us, email paulm@qpr.co.uk. Congratulations. And we'll actually forget that, email adamh@qpr.co.uk. He's got your tickets.
Yeah, that's the same. It's like getting emails, don't you?
I haven't got any tickets. Email Adam, he might have a couple of tickets out the back for you. And you also win the opportunity to meet Kev, Marc, and all the returning legends from 2003-04 at the game against Bournemouth on Tuesday. Kev, just get your thoughts on Charlie Austin. It's only his 5th season as a professional footballer, which is quite incredible, and how well he's doing in the Championship.
Yeah, exactly. He had a tremendous season last season, didn't he, at Burnley? But you know, sometimes players come in late in the game, and when they have a normal job, whatever he was doing, I don't know. But he obviously was working and playing part time. Sometimes they appreciate a little more. They appreciate what they've got now than what they had before. So he works really hard, and there's one thing you can say, he's very direct. He's always in the box, and he's always getting chances. And one thing as a centre forward for me, if I wasn't getting chances, there'd be a slight problem. If you're getting chances and you miss the odd time, you can always say, hold on, well, at least I was getting at least all I've got to do is sharpen up on my finishing, and the goals will come. But when you're getting no chances and you don't look like you're going to score, then you know, you've got to have a little
effect,
yeah.
He's got 18. That's not a bad start.
That's good. He's up front on his own, and it's difficult. I don't think he's played that much.
during his career, just being up front on his own lever.
It's a different role for him. I suppose he was at Burnley, was 2 up front, and a lot of crosses coming in for him. And I do think that's where you'll get the best out of Charlie, when you get balls in the box. And Matt Phillips will be a big player for QPR and for Charlie. And I think Charlie would love to see Matt Phillips play every week, because one thing he does, he gets down the line and puts crosses in. And I think it was the goal against Derby. I know he Matt Phillips put an early cross in. Charlie Austin got there, but he should have scored. He should have scored. And he'll probably say that, and the keeper saved it, and Jermaine Jenner scored.
I think
and against Reading, very similar, a couple of opportunities.
It reaped the benefits when Matty's fully fit and Junior's fully fit, and we've got 2 wingers out there as well to change about with Nico and who else, Gary, if we put them wide.
Stretches the fullbacks out, and then gives more room for him, because then there's not more.
That's one thing about Chaz.
So he'll be good. He's good, and he works. There's one thing, he works hard, and he looks like he wants to score, and he looks like he wants to play, and that's what you need.
When you talk about different characters, what a great lad, a great attitude, and some of the games he played in, we were winning, but not creating too many chances, and we weren't getting too many crosses in the box. But he would never moan. He'd keep working, and look at a chance. A bit like the Millwall game away, we didn't get really many chances, and then when he does get a chance in the second half, he scored.
Okay, the 2000...
just very quickly, Lisa Richards wants to know if you're going to be making the blue hair comeback on Tuesday night.
I'm on the other side of the fence now, and I coach
ain't got any.
I know, you're talking about me there.
Blue mobile. You never know. I might get it back out for one night.
Blue wig.
It's giving you an idea, isn't it? Okay, the 2003-4 reunion takes place on Tuesday evening at Loftus Road when we host Bournemouth. Look, there you go, the pair of you on the front of the programme on Tuesday night.
We were literally waving at Brentford.
We got in trouble for that. Yeah, they tried to report us. FA charge. It was Moz tried to report us.
An FA charge.
FA charge for just doing that.
That's unbelievable. I can't believe it's gone on the front of the programme. We needed to do more research. I mean, who on earth?
No, we got away with it. I mean, we didn't do it because we was waving at the friends and family that are in South Africa Road.
That's what you said. Yeah, that's what you said. Okay, as well as that, that's normal price of £3. Tomorrow morning, 10:15, a slightly later time, Harry Redknapp's pre-Doncaster press conference for all the latest team news. That's live on ustream.tv/official QPR, so tune in for that. Just before you go, firstly, thanks for joining us. Before you go, predictions for Saturday. I haven't even mentioned Doncaster, but predictions for Saturday against Doncaster.
Yeah, I'm going 1-0 QPR.
That seems to be the standard QPR scoreline this season.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going for, Ross.
Very good research. Yeah?
No, I think I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0.
QPR, yeah. I think
both
I think we'll control the game, and we're looking strong at the back. We don't concede many, and we have the ball most of the game. And I don't think they'll have the patience to keep it tight at the back. And I think we've got too many good players going forward. And once we get a chance, I expect us to vary it. But yeah, I think 2-0.
Okay, Brian.
I'd like to see 1-0 on the back of 2 home games coming up and come out with all 9 points.
Excellent, we shall see. Thanks ever so much for joining us. Thanks to Brian, especially to Kevin and Mark. They'll be back at Loftus Road on Tuesday evening. Tickets are still available for the game against the Cherries. 08 444 777 007. Not a sellout as yet. 08 444 777 007 to see the boys return to Loftus Road. You've been watching London Calling, brought to you in association with Equate.
You are.